Hi, I'm Papa on Mabie Island.
And I'm Gaga.
Hit the like button, subscribe, and ring the bell, and never, ever skip the ads.
Follow us on social media, Twitter and Instagram, and also TikTok.
And we'd like to know what country or state or province in Canada that you're watching from. Tell us what you want us to respond to next. We want to give a special shout out today to our family doctor. Hi, Michelle.
Merry Christmas, and we appreciate you.
Yes, we do. The whole family goes to her.
Okay, so today we're reacting to Red Taylor's version, which was just released this year in November. Okay, are you ready?
Yes.
Yes. Islanders, stick with us through the lyrics because after the song plays, we're going to do a breakdown on the lyrics.
Yes. Here we go.
She's got a red guitar.
It's very upbeat. I like the beat. Ooh.
This is a song about a relationship, which many of Taylor's songs are about relationships.
Well, I like that she's talking about colors and moods because I'm an artist and I relate to colors.
You relate to colors, yes. And this was the name of her album, was Red as
Loving
well.
Him was red. Sounds passionate.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh. No right answer.
And a little bit of trouble.
Mm-hmm.
So it did not survive.
She's having flashbacks about the relationship,
Right.
having trouble moving on. Sounds like that's kind of sad, and yet the music is very upbeat.
Right. The music is upbeat.
I really like this music.
Oh, I do too.
Oh,
Sad ending.
sad. Yes.
Okay, so I have a quote directly from Taylor from 2012 about this song.
Okay.
And she said, I wrote this song about how sometimes things are hard to forget because there was intense emotion in it. And to me, intense emotion means the color red. So she correlates the color red with intense emotion and love and passion. And later on in her album Lover, on the song Daylight, she says, I thought love would be burning red, but it's actually golden like daylight. So she references this song.
She says, loving him was like driving a Maserati down a dead-end street, faster than the wind, passionate as sin, ending so suddenly. She mentions passion right there, and you just said she connected red with passion, which is the title of the song. I kind of get the impression maybe this relationship was short-lived, if it is about a relationship. What do you think?
Well, I think that description means to me that it was very fast and thrilling, exciting, and then it ended abruptly.
It ended just as quickly. Yeah. Do you think this was a long-term relationship or a short-term?
Probably not very long.
Yeah, that's the impression I got. I think had it been long-term, she would have mentioned something about that.
Mm-hmm. Well, the next phrase says, loving him is like trying to change your mind once you're already flying through free fall. Well, I think of paratrooper jumps out of the plane before he opens his parachute. That's what's going to save him, but what she was saying there was really impossible because she didn't have a parachute.
Right. Well, I think in the next line, what makes me think maybe it was a short-term relationship, she says, like the colors in autumn, so bright just before they lose it all. For those of you that live in areas where the leaves change color, it's fairly quick.
Temporarily beautiful.
They're temporary.
I mean, they're very vivid.
Right.
And very beautiful. We're talking about color a lot in this song, though it's doomed to fail. Those leaves, same leaves that are so beautiful, are doomed to fail, and they're going to turn brown and fall off.
Right.
Die.
And local announcers will tell you when the leaves are at peak, but it's not a long period of time.
The peak is about a week long?
About a week long. About a week long, right.
So that again kind of references this was not a long relationship.
Losing him was like blue I'd never known. Missing him was dark gray all alone. Forgetting him was trying to know somebody you've never met. So some people might be confused by that line. Well, you couldn't know somebody you never met. And what she's saying is, I can't forget him.
Yeah.
She's equating the two together.
Right.
It's impossible.
The name of the song is Red, and that's probably about passion.
Right.
But blue, you relate that to being either depressed or sad. Dark gray is being all alone. And, so this whole song is filled with color.
References to color.
References to color. The red is hot, passionate, dangerous, possibly painful to the touch.
And as producer Coleman said later in life, she says, no, love is not red, it's golden, because she's learned perhaps that it's more than just passion.
You know what that makes me think? That's the difference between what you think is love and then mature love.
Okay.
What real love and what you think is love.
Right. Right.
So,
passion's a great thing, but it's not everything, right?
No, it's not.
Then she goes to the second verse. Touching him was like realizing all you've ever wanted was right in front of you. Memorizing him was as easy as knowing all the words to your favorite old song. It kind of gives me an impression that they had a lot in common, because she says it wasn't hard to memorize him. It's kind of like a favorite song. Well, then she goes on, this is where it's a little trouble in paradise. Fighting with him was trying to solve a crossword puzzle when there's no right answer. Regretting him was like wishing you'd never found out that love could be so strong. What she's saying is that these fights, apparently, they weren't resolved, really, because there's no right answer. So you either just suck it up and move on, or forgive each other, or forget. I don't know. She doesn't really say.
It almost seems like, to me, there wasn't a willingness on both their parts, or maybe on his part, I don't know, to work it out until they came to a resolution. Just let's just get on with it. Well, that's trouble. Right. If you don't work it out, that's trouble.
It is. Because most crossword puzzles do have a right answer.
Yes.
Might take a while, but they do.
A fun fact is, when she re-released Red, Taylor's version, she had her fans solve a crossword puzzle to find out what the new vault tracks were called.
Okay.
But there was a right answer. Good. There was a solved crossword puzzle. And it was fun, too.
That's a great comment, Coleman. Back into the chorus again, and then she goes to the third verse.
Yeah, I think that phrase you mentioned before, forgetting him was like trying to know somebody you never met. Well, how do you unlearn those feelings?
Good point.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
Once you've had those feelings, how do you just jettison them?
Next verse, she says, remembering him comes in flashbacks and echoes. I tell myself, it's time, I gotta go. I think here she's telling her mind, you gotta stop thinking about him. You gotta stop these echoes and flashbacks. You gotta move on.
I agree.
But then she says, but moving on from him is impossible. It's still all in my head is burning red.
She's having trouble forgetting that passionate physical relationship.
I think she must have liked that a lot.
Yeah, I think she did.
That part of it. Didn't like the fighting, didn't like the making her blue, but I think she probably liked that part.
On losing him was blue like I've never known. So for her, blue reflected loss.
Right.
Or lostness. Dark gray reflected loneliness. Missing him was dark gray. All alone. Forgetting him was like trying to know somebody you never met. There's that line again. So that was apparently an important phrase for her, because she repeats it over and over.
And she ends up with, and that's why he's spinning around in my head, comes back to me burning red. Even though she said, I gotta move on. And I'm telling my mind to stop thinking about him, he's still spinning around.
Right.
So this took something out of her. This one
it was fast-paced, hot-burning love, I guess, is
right,
what you call it. And
right.
then it was abruptly over, and she had to adjust to it and move on, which is not always completely easy.
She ends up with, his love is like driving a new Maserati down a dead-end street. The Maseratis are very, very expensive. I believe they're Italian. Very expensive automobiles. Only 1% of the people in the world drive Maseratis.
Probably less than that. I don't even know if I've ever seen one. Have you?
I don't think so. I might have seen a picture of one.
Yeah.
One interesting thing about Red as opposed to some of the other songs, she doesn't really say what went wrong or who went wrong. She never places blame or anything like that on herself or on the other person. She said they fought.
Well, I wonder for myself if this is about Jake Gyllenhaal also.
So everyone thinks this is about Jake Gyllenhaal, but reportedly John Mayer has synesthesia, which makes you see music as colors.
Oh.
And I'm sure she knew that.
Okay.
So, of course, in Speak Now, which is the album right before this, she has the song Dear John.
Okay.
So it could be about John Mayer, but we do not know.
Well, that's an interesting point. It very well could be.
Yeah.
That she would write it in terms that he could relate to.
Yeah.
I want to make one comment about that's why he's spinning around in my head. Several years ago, I took a trip without Gaga to spring practice for baseball, which I absolutely love. And while I loved being there and I loved being with my two sons, our two sons, Gaga kept spinning around in my head. And I had my cell phone and she says, you know, you've called me 15 times today. And, well, maybe I couldn't stop her from spinning around in my head.
Spinning around, burning red.
Yeah. Actually, I think he was feeling guilty that I wasn't invited.
I think maybe so. Maybe so. Yeah, because 2 weeks later, we went back. Yeah. She and I.
Okay, so from 1 to 5 stars, 5 being the best, what do you give this song, Red, tailored version?
I think I'm going to give it a 4.5. And I love the beat. It was an upbeat song, which seems like might not fit with a sad message, but maybe she knew exactly what she was doing there. I give it a 4.5.
I was going to give it the same.
Really?
4.5. And I really liked the beat on it as well. Mm-hmm. The music, it was very catchy.
Yes.
I thought it was very well done. Yes. Islanders, what did you think about this song? If there's something you want us to respond to, let us know and hit the like button, subscribe. Subscribing to Mabie Island is so important.
And don't forget to leave your comments because we love to read the comments.
As always, it's nice to know
so many nice people.
Bye.